I've also participated in, or excuse me, I was also the director of Miss Black Indiana 2014. So from both sides, as the director to a participant, I'm very excited to be International Miss Georgia and compete for International Miss USA with our system.
I absolutely love that. There's so many opportunities, within your system. And, it's really difficult to choose a pageant system because nowadays there's just so
Mhm.
many to choose from. So, you have so much going on with this pageant system of everything. What really struck you as saying, you know what, I really want to be involved in this and I want other young women to be involved as well?
Honestly, one of the deciding factors for International Miss was that the resort wear section was recently removed. And why is that important? Because I believe that women come to the table with so many different things. We have our, interview category, which is a staple across the space, but also there are components that International Miss additionally values. And for myself as an entrepreneur and executive and business owner, I just wasn't interested in parading on stage in a swimsuit. So because there were additional factors that lead into my measurement as a winner on this stage, I was completely excited about that and was more encouraged to compete. And that signaled to me that the system is looking for a whole woman. And so I was very, very much attracted by that in the competitive landscape of other pageants.
Absolutely love that. And before we even was live, we were just talking about, like the aspect of pageantry, like especially with Black women, like I feel as though now times have changed quite a bit in
Mhm,
terms of, accepting all of this Black beauty and,
mhm,
straight hair, natural hair, whatever that we
mhm,
have as Black women. So how do you feel, in terms of your hair? Because I'm sure we talked about this. This has come up,
mhm.
a topic has come up about
Yep,
competing with your hair. Do
yep.
you feel any type of pressure? Do you feel the need to have to change?
Okay, that's fair. And also, before we went live, we also just said that I'm that girl. So when you're that girl, however you present yourself to the world as a woman can find spaces, and when there's no spaces, you create them. And I think that being a Black woman with red locks is something that is most certainly a an anomaly when looking at other spaces, and if other Black women feel more comfortable in competing with locks and with natural hair, I most certainly encourage it. We have states where the Crown Act is being discouraged, and I'm in a pageant where my natural hair is encouraged. We also have previous winners who have competed and won with braids, and all the different types of expressions that Black women wear their hair has been welcomed into my system. So I'm very much empowered by that and want to continue to be an example for other Black girls to feel comfortable taking up space and however they choose to express their beauty.
Absolutely. Because I said, you know what? Everybody's beautiful. Everybody's unique. That's what makes us special, So
Yes.
so
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your platform because I absolutely love your platform and what you're representing.
Well, my platform is Sisterhood, Success, and Self Care. And that is something that has been consistent throughout my mentoring experiences, my professional experiences. It really is the pillars of how I conduct myself with others. I think that sisterhood is a core of community, right? Sometimes with women, we realize that no matter whether we're Black, white, or something else, we come from a different country. Womanhood is very communal and something that we can all connect to. And self care and success being an element that encouraging women's pay equity, encouraging women to really take stage and hold the places that we're meant to be in, empowering women to own more businesses, thrive in those businesses, to get more funding for their businesses. These are all causes that I have committed myself to in my professional life. And then, of course, after you're doing all that advocating and relating to your sisters, what do you want to do? You want to relax. You want to have self care. You want to pour back into yourself. And so, my platform is really a trifecta of all of those things together that really fuel the things that I'm passionate about.
And I love that because, just by hearing it, you can't have one without the other. I feel as though you have to have
Mhm. Mhm.
literally all three of
Mhm.
them.
Yep.
Um, and for you on a personal level, what was your inspiration? Because, sisterhood, success, and self care are very, very specific.
Mhm.
So, how did you decide that this was going to be your platform?
I decided that this would be my platform because it was the most natural extension of how I'm showing up for my community. And it was only right to continue to do so and live in that authenticity. So it was very natural for me to transition my title holder activities into focusing on those three areas. And also, even, more personally, since I've become a title holder, my area of self care has also been in taking a 100-day sobriety journey, in which I'm about 60-ish days in right now. And that has really given me additional clarity on what those pillars of sisterhood, success, and self care really mean to me. And by withdrawing from alcohol, has given me the opportunity to really refresh my body, to refresh my mind, and really see things in a new way. And so my platform is most definitely personal, and I have guided everything that I've been doing as a title holder in sharing those messages and testimonies in the spirit of helping other women, men, teens, anyone who can feel a connection to the journey that I've taken.
Absolutely. And it's very empowering too. That's why I absolutely love your platform and, and how you're representing that because we all can benefit from it. So, as you know, Beauty Queens Galore, we are a huge pageant resource.
Mhm.
And so, as a resource, just from your perspective, what would you like to see more coming from us?
Oh, that's a great question. I would like to see more opportunities for former title holders to be able to share their stories. Where are they now? What are they doing? How has pageantry really affected their careers? How has pageantry given them the confidence and the ability to navigate the world in a new way? I would love to see that more from the pageant resource.
Well, we can do that. So, that's why we asked this question because we love to hear people's feedback, so that we can continue to give you more. And in the course of that, our audience grows as well. So
For sure. Yeah, there's so many women over the years who, after you walk off the stage and hand over your crown, it's not over. I'm often drawn to tears when I think of former Black title holders. Kenya Moore as Miss USA is one of them. I remember watching those pageants as a young girl. I remember the day, and so to be able to still connect with other title holders, whether they're in Miss USA, Miss Universe, or in other systems. It reignites that fire in you if you are a pageant historian or otherwise. And I think that would be a great storytelling opportunity for the platform and for other up and coming winners.
I agree because no matter when you compete, the point of pageantry doesn't change. Like you mentioned Kenya, like Carol and Kenya, I call them Michigan. You're a Michigan girl. Like they
Yes.
they were the ones that really just jump started it. My love and interest actually with Halle Berry, like the whole USA thing. It was these beautiful, amazing Black women who were all unique. Who inspired us. And you're so right. And then after they gave up their titles, they are still out here,
Yep.
making a difference to all of us, Black women. So I
I
love it.
remember when I competed in Miss Michigan Teen USA, I would peek into the performance stage area to see the Miss pageant, and the winner that year in 2004 was Stacey Lee, who was a Black woman, also of course from Michigan, but she lives in Atlanta now. I remember running into her. I followed her on social media ever since then. I am not obsessed, but I am much a fan. And I remember running into her at Starbucks, and I said, okay, here's how I remember you. And it was a pageant moment. It was a pageant girl moment. She was so gracious. But she's also a restaurant owner. And even still, those stories are just really, really, really important, because there are title holders who have really left a mark in your memory and really trailblaze the path for what you can do, not just as a beauty queen, but as a professional. So
It
I
is
have
so
a few
true.
favorites.
So true. I'll tell you, I like the Michigan women. You know, in Michigan, y'all play no games up there with your pageants now. So
I thought the South was serious, but Michigan is coming in with heat as well. So
that's
I'm
right.
proud to represent both.
That's right. You do represent both very well. So tell me, what do you want to be remembered for?
That's a great question. I want to be remembered for being kind. I remember when the world was kind, when people had manners and hold doors for you or save space for you. That's what I want to be remembered as, someone who was gracious, someone who makes room for others. And that is something that I feel as if I do now, but I would be very pleased when I'm no longer here that that remains to be a primary memory and legacy that I leave behind. It's just your kindness. How did you touch someone today? How did you improve someone's life today? Because the material things that you acquire in this life means nothing. But when you're gone and people speak of you, I would be honored if it's in a way in which people were inspired and felt as if I've encouraged them to do something a little bit more closer to their purpose, and that would make me pleased.
And you know what? You're so right. It's so easy to be kind. I think it takes a lot of effort to not because I agree with you so much, and to be remembered for that, that's something that's very special because it's rare. Unfortunately, it's rare nowadays.
And that's why
I love
self-care is really important, because when other people are mean, it usually has nothing to do with you.
that.
It's a boiling up of your own issues, of your own frustrations, not knowing how to rebalance and replenish yourself. And so again, this is why self-care is really important, to honor how your body feels and know how to feed yourself what you need. And it's just, when we speak on why sisterhood, success, and self-care, it points back to one of the three at all times for me.
And that is so true. And, you brought up a good point, with being is not necessarily anything personal. Like with self-care, that also includes, that mental health aspect or talking to a therapist or getting help that you need, because like you said, sometimes it has nothing to do with you. They're just going through a lot and they may not know how to channel,
Mhm.
that negative energy that they may be feeling. So
Yeah,
it's so important. That self-care is all three are important, but like self-care is really your driving force to make that sisterhood even greater and to be even more successful. You got to make sure you take care of yourself.
I completely agree.
Can't say it enough. So, you're a Ms. title holder. And I was
Mhm.
a Ms. too. And, I feel like sometimes it's that in between stage for us because we're not a Miss. We're
Yep.
not married. Sometimes we can be depending on
Yep.
the pageant system. But what responsibility do you think Ms. title holders have?
The responsibility that Ms. title holders have are being it is to be an example of empowerment and elegance, and to show that beauty does not fade with age. A lot of women have been deterred from pageants over the years by age restrictions and not being able to be a mother. You know, my daughter's 14. So honestly, she was the one who hyped me and encouraged me to do this pageant. She said, "Mom, you love pageants." And I have not done a pageant a day in her life because I was unable to qualify for the pageants that I wanted to compete in because I was a mom when I was 22. So being in a Ms. pageant is to reignite and to re-inspire women, whether they are, 28 at that cusp of the, certain age requirements or older, that youthfulness is all in the mind, and your energy and your enthusiasm for yourself as a woman can shine through on stage as a Ms. competitor. So it's never too late. You're never too old. If you feel old, that's up to you. So I think that the responsibility of us is to, usher in a new age of womanhood through our competition activities.
And you answered another, good question is because sometimes people say, is there really a right time, to do a pageant?
It's whenever you want to.
There you go.
It's
It's
how do you
date and
feel?
time. That's right.
Yeah.
It's really up to you
Yep.
when
How
you
do
want
you
to do
feel?
it. So right now, as a title holder, how do you prepare for life after the crown?
I think with my system as a competitor for International Ms., the most important elements that drew me to apply and compete was around, again, being a whole woman, being a professional, and one of our prize winner award prizes includes a contribution to a cause or your business. So, as an entrepreneur, and as you mentioned, 810 Tacos, that is something that's very important for me, is that not only am I competing and representing the pageant and representing myself, but I also represent my business. So after the pageant, I am looking forward to not only continuing to advocate for my platform, because my platform is my lifestyle, but also be able to bring those elements together and talk more about my business, encourage other women to consider entrepreneurship, as many offices are encouraging return to office, and DE&I initiatives are being struck out of corporate plans. A lot of women should continue to consider and or make that pivot into entrepreneurship so that they can understand how success, sisterhood, and self-care will benefit them as a mother, as a wife, and as a head of household. So I'm looking forward to that once my reign is over as International Miss Georgia.
I love it. Let me tell you, the name of your business, 810 Tacos. I absolutely love that name. I love how it was inspired by your hometown of Flint. So tell me a little bit about how you got started.
Listen, I'm a Flint girl through and through. I love my hometown, and 810 refers to our area code. And through college, I was always hosting taco nights, and I was the go to person for that. Taco night is not Tuesday, it's actually Thursday, if you ask my people. But over the years, there were people asking, well, what do you season your tacos with? And I said, hold please, I'm going to sell you something. And that is exactly how it came about. This is our fourth year of business. We are direct to consumer and entering specialty markets at the end of the year. So I am very pleased to again have a product that is centered around communal feasting, community getting together, having a good time. This is why my platform is so important, because it is really a lived experience that I'm able to bring something as joyful as tacos to my customers. And it's also something that you share with others. I can give you something that brings me and my friends joy. You can share something with your friends and family that bring you joy. Tacos is something you want to share with others. Do you like to have tacos by yourself? No.
Ooh,
You're like, hey girl, let's go get tacos. That is exactly what I want for my business. And that's what I want for others, is to be able to come together across something that also brings them joy. And A10 Tacos is that for me.
well, tacos always bring me joy, and I can eat tacos every day of the week. I'll be fine with that.
Hey,
So,
see?
and you know what? Your business is part of your legacy, and your daughter gets to share in that as well. Absolutely. That's the whole thing about entrepreneurship. It's like even if after you're gone, it's still there, and you can pass it on to other people to keep that tradition going. So absolutely love this. I definitely have to make sure I get some of that because I do eat tacos probably more than most people would eat tacos.
I will make sure you get some.
Thank
You're
you. I was
welcome.
trying to hint, but not hint. I was like, I really want some.
Oh, I caught the hint. I will message you after.
So we've already touched on it a little bit about mental health.
Mhm.
And as a title holder, that's a job within itself.
Yep.
In case you have motherhood, you have your own businesses, there's a lot that really does go on. So if anybody that's listening that may be struggling, like how to just juggle it all, what advice can you give them when in terms of keeping a positive mental health for them?
For me, and others, I recommend rest. I recommend slowing down. Um, I recommend meditation. I recommend journaling. And all of these are solitary activities that don't require anything. Even if you don't have a journal, there is an app on your phone, there's notes. There are ways that you can take the stressors of your mind and take them out of your body and put them somewhere where they can sit and you can reflect and you have the opportunity to now listen for directions and instructions. So those moments, whether we're meditating, journaling, and all of those elements, when you have so many things to balance, I feel like the American lifestyle is very fast paced. You spend 8 hours a day at work. There's all these increments of time that are withdrawals of your energy. When are you making a deposit? Every day. It should start with a deposit. Your deposit includes moments where you are increasing your personal value, whether that's reading or studying something that increases your value or your knowledge, but also managing your physical health. When you are unhealthy physically, you cannot show up for others, and you most certainly are no longer showing up for yourself. All of these activities have to become a part of that routine as well, because as women, as mothers, I'm telling you, you give all day long, and then it's 9 o'clock, and you may feel like you have nothing. And I want to see that evolve for women so that we're able to be present first before we expend all of our energy, low level energy, with other things, because it most certainly can happen when we are trying to beat the economy, beat the politics against women, and overcome all the challenges that women have to manage in living what they would find to be on their success path.
That is so true. I love how you say we need to make sure we deposit. You know, it's just like your bank account. You don't want it to be at zero. You know,
Yes,
it's the same thing as your internal.
yes.
You want to make sure you're full, you know, or you don't want to get down to nothing because you can't give anything if you don't have anything to give.
If you think of starting your day with $10,000,
Hmm.
and driving your kids to school is $2,000.
Hmm.
Picking them up is another $2,000. Work is 7,500. So now it's gone. And at the end of the day, you just have to cook dinner, manage homework, do sports, And so at some point in that day, it could be a meditation, a couple of pages in your journal, or just something that is for you. And this is why pageants at this age was important for me. This is for me. I have an interview today at 7 in here. Leave me alone. This is for me. My pageant coaching is for me. We are working on diction and interviewing and demeanor and decorum that flows into my professional life. Pageantry at this age is most certainly for me as a Ms. competitor. So you may not think you have time, but you have time with what you make time for. So this has very much been an opportunity for me to step outside of the mom shell that you build over the years, because you get in a routine and you're it's all about my kids, whatever the kids want, whatever my husband wants. I'm leaning in at work, and none of those things have anything to do with you. And time will tick by, and now you're 99, and you said, "Wow, I should have made more time for myself." I spend a lot of time with elders, um, elderly women, who have the grace of wisdom and the beauty of age to say, "Baby, go ahead and do it." And so I hear that often. And if there's ever a time, now is the time. So making those deposits are really important for you to live your full purpose if you haven't found it. And it inspires everyone around you when you step into that. It was also a fun fact at work. I do pageants. It's like, oh my gosh, you're a real person. Yes, outside of work, I do things that I enjoy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people do love hearing all about pageants and the stories about pageants. They're like, "Oh my God, you do pageants!" They're ready to hear it. They're like, and you know, as a pageant competitor, and you know, being the system that you have, if you look back on it now, is there anything you wish you would have known now that you didn't know before? Like you think about it, you're like, oh man, you've been in this role for a while now. But I wish I would have known that sooner.
No, really, no, because that means that I'm living in the rear view, and you know what you need to know when you need to know it. So I try not to overthink, which is harder than saying it. So I feel that truth out of season bears no fruit. So if I'm learning something now, it's because I need it now. If I would have learned it yesterday, it would have went in one ear, not the other. So the journey of acquiring knowledge is also in its divine alignment. So I'm very happy to know what I know now and continue to be open to continue to learn things, even if I've heard them before. It's something that will flick the light switch if you hear it at the right moment.
That is so true. Because I think everything is about timing. Like you said, you can hear it 3 or 4 different times, and it may not hit you to that fourth or fifth time that you hear
Yep.
it. A lot of times it's experience, or it's just
Yep.
where you are in your life. You're like, oh, that was great. But
Yep.
speaking of that, is there advice that you've heard that you feel is the greatest advice that you've received thus far in your life?
Okay, well, my mother is a very special person. Hey, mom. And her favorite quote in very PG terms is F it, right? Some things you just got to let it go. And I hold on to that because you walk through life, and it's almost like that meme that we see at the end of the year with the woman is going up the steps with all the bags and the baggage, and some things you just really need to let go. And I thought it was the most crass advice I'd ever heard as a teenager. But I really do think that sometimes you have to feel moments and be in the moment, feel your feelings, and then let it go. Just really release that. And so that has been very important because, as we just answered, it really keeps you from living in the rear view, and it cleans your windshield wiper, if you will, of the mess, so that you're able to see how to continue to navigate on your path. And traveling light is important. So that piece of advice has stuck with me.
Absolutely love that. Oh, traveling light is important. Because I'm telling you, all that baggage is just all it does is weigh you down. Like we said, it impacts you so
Mhm.
much mentally. The self care, it just impacts everything.
It
Let it
does.
go.
Let it go. Just send it off. And whether you need to write it on a bay leaf and burn the bay leaf, or write it down in a journal, ball it up and throw it out, it has to leave your space. I'm always cleaning my room. I like to scan my place. I'm throwing stuff out. I don't need this anymore. These books are old. These clothes are old. Because if you have to be able to destroy to build, and in your space, your physical space or your mind space, new things have to go somewhere.
So
They
true.
have to go somewhere.
So true. And it's so funny you say that because, when you're cleaning out your closet, sometimes you think about, oh, like I might need, no, you don't. If you would have, that outfit's been there how long and you've not thought about wearing it, let it go. Like you said, you got to make room for the new, let it go.
Yep. You have to make room. And so I have leveraged this opportunity to make room for new things, to branch out, as if I said this to someone recently, Beyonce's stage personality is Sasha Fierce. Well, if I have been a little quieter over the years because I've been playing it safe, well, International Miss has given me the platform to be my own version of Sasha Fierce, to let the fear go, to let things go that have been holding me back. Why not do a partnership with a Pilates studio because you love Pilates and it is an expression of self care? Reach out to them. Reach out to the Grady Foundation and build a team for the Move for Grady 5K, because you do walk every day anyway. You are good at bringing people together. You do believe in fitness. Why not? Fear sometimes is our heaviest bag, and letting it go brings in all the opportunities that you've been trying to manifest. But you can't bring in anything new when you're stuck in places that the divine or God or whoever your higher power is wants to move you to. You have to move your feet too. So fear keeps you stuck. And so I'm very glad for not only my mother's advice, but also this pageant for moving my feet.
Absolutely love everything you just said. It's the key component that I feel like, it's not other people that hold you back. It's the person in the mirror that usually is the one that's holding you back because your own fears, you get into your head, you overthink
Yep.
those insecurities. You just have to let it go. I'm like you, like I'm like, I don't see age in anything. Just do what you want to do and don't
Yep.
worry about what anybody else thinks because it's your journey,
Yep.
you know? And I think a lot of people are so afraid of what other people may think or what society, may think. That's why I love Miss Pageants,
Mm,
because they're so unique and special,
yep.
because a lot of people think, oh, after 28, you shouldn't be doing a pageant. Why not?
Why not?
Like,
Why not? Am I not beautiful anymore because I'm 29? You know?
right, right. But usually it's the ones that say those things. They want to do it too, but they're just afraid themselves. So
And I
that's,
think Ms. Pageants, even right now, I'm 36 and I grew up in a time where there wasn't social media. And if I posted something, I didn't have to worry about comments from strangers. And even more so for women right now who are competing in Ms. Pageants, who are in their 30s, it's combating that, right? Because you're really putting yourself out there even more so now because you're making yourself open to criticism, and that confidence that you gain by taking the steps every day to walking your path makes all the haters silent. So I think Ms. Pageants right now are just really critical for allowing women to rediscover who they are.
that is so true. And you brought up a topic that is very popular nowadays because I know back in the day we didn't really there was no social media. Okay, we didn't have that, but now it's the best way to network. I mean, is through social media, but at the same time, as positive as it can be, it also evokes a lot of negativity, which does impact a lot of women. I'll just focus on women, in pageantry and things like that, and they take comments to heart. So, what is the best advice you can give to women as they're trying to navigate, through the world, I say, of social media and networking?
I would say the best way is to focus on your message. Your message is not for everyone, your platform is not for everyone, your look might not be for everyone, and that's okay. But knowing that you are made and created in the most special way, and that you're confident in that, you can use your platform, your social media platform specifically, as a way to empower others to find that same confidence in themselves. I enjoy TikTok the most out of my social platforms because there are people there that is not my aunt, right? I find that the social graph that I can create on TikTok is a little bit different. And there's women who I've never seen before. You inspire me. And I said, me, what did I do? And not to be clueless, but you never know how what you're sharing affects someone. So if you focus on your message and not how it looks and not how it sounds and not if the background is perfect, but you never know what words you can share that affect someone else. And so I would say that focusing on your message is the most important part of navigating social media in the times where people feel empowered to just be keyboard warriors.
I absolutely agree with you because it's not about the number of likes or comments because there's many people who will say to you, "Oh my God, that post really inspired me," and they didn't like it. They
Mhm.
stopped, they saw it, they were like, "Oh, this is great," and they kept scrolling. Because sometimes liking something doesn't mean that they didn't see it, and
Mhm.
because sometimes people do get caught up, in the likes of their comment, number of comments. Don't do that because, like you said, you're inspiring someone without even realizing it.
They may not like it and they may not comment, but what you can learn to measure, because I am a marketer, is that people save your content. Look at your saves. When you have something to say on social media and it's a piece of content where you can see that metric, someone saved it. Why would someone save that? You could ask. It's because they want to come back to it. They put it in their pocket, it's a feather in their cap, and they will come back to it when it's the right season, if it's not right now. And that's how you can really understand if your message is resonating and has value.
Oh, I love that. And it's simply the absolute truth. I love your content because it tells a story. That's why I
Mhm.
was like, I knew a lot about you because your content was just like a story. It's like, I know who she is, I know what inspires her. It's just those fun things about you. And that's this encouraging thing, like you said, it's putting yourself out there and just having fun with it and not be so stressed out about it. It's
Yeah.
just putting yourself out there and doing what you want to do. Like what you preached about this entire time is just be fearless and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah, finding that vulnerability is really important, and that's what makes social media. When Instagram first came out, what were we doing? We were posting our food, we were posting the sunset with a filter, and I'm having a great day. That's it. And it changed over time, but being real about your experience on the platform is really important. And it's also equally as important to be that vulnerable in your pageant experience, in your title holder experience, when you are interacting with others, when you have an opportunity to don your sash and connect with other people. It's not that you're untouchable, you're more relatable. You have the opportunity to build a bridge. And I think that vulnerability that you can find on social media is a great practice for that.
It sure is. It definitely it tested me. I was so scared at first, and I was like, "Oh, this is a piece of cake. We got this.
Exactly.
We
Once
can.
you
Let's
hop right
try."
on in, it's like second nature.
It really is. So before I let you go, we like to play a little game here called This or That.
Okay.
I'll let you get away with one thing where it could be both because I know some of them could be a little tough. You just get one though. Only get
Okay.
one.
All
Okay.
right.
A dress with a slit or without?
With a slit, yes.
I was gonna say,
I'm
girl, you got
a leg
legs.
girl.
Yes, you got
Leg
legs.
me, yes.
Ooh, sleeves or no sleeves with an evening gown.
No sleeves.
Okay.
Show
Jeans or leggings.
jeans.
Okay. Ooh, onstage question or interview.
Both.
That's a good one. I agree with that. I mean, I agree. Okay, let's see here. Ooh, sneakers or stilettos.
Stilettos.
Okay.
Stilettos for sure.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. Let's see here. Ooh, early bird or night owl.
Early bird.
Okay. So you get up
Early
early.
bird. Yep. I get sleepy around 9:30.
Okay. Yeah, I'm right there with you. With the
Not
time change, I'm
California.
done. I'm right there with you. It's a wrap.
Oh yeah.
So do you prefer nude or red lipstick?
Nude.
Yes.
Mhm.
We're like nude. Sash or the crown?
Sash or the crown?
Hmm.
Sash.
Agreed. Here's a good one. Dress or jumpsuit? Ooh, this is a fun one.
That's a hard one.
That's tough.
I will say jumpsuit. I would
Okay, we get it can have like a little flare like a dress.
You can do a lot with a good jumpsuit. You can
You
do a lot
can.
with a good jumpsuit. My wardrobe is probably half and half.
See? See, there you go. Ooh, natural glam or full glam?
Natural glam.
Yes. Yes.
Natural glam. Let's keep it real.
There you go. Do you like wearing your hair up or down?
My hair is really heavy. So I'll say down. But I do enjoy a good up to every now and then.
Okay. Ooh, this is always a fun one. Practice or wing it?
Practice.
Yeah, I can't.
Practice
I
makes
can't.
perfect.
Can't do the winging it stuff. I feel
Yeah.
like
No.
I can't do that. Okay, so your last one.
Okay.
Okay. First pageant with or without a coach?
With.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's one of those where some people have said One, some people say without, with or without. So that I just love that question. That's a good question. So
Thank you. This was fun.
see, we had ourselves a good time. We did our thing, and so let me just tell you, it was so much fun getting to know you. Like I said, Zaneta Chuniq Empower. I just like saying your full name because it's just
I'd like to hear
it
it.
evokes empowerment is what I think it does. So if you don't mind, because there's so much about you that people need to really be able to see. And
Mhm.
of course, got to get that seasoning for those tacos. So if you don't mind, before you go, share how people can stay connected to you and also to your title, how they can stay connected through your title.
All right. Well, for more about the International Miss Pageant, you can go to internationalmisspageant.com. And we are also on social media, so check us out there. For myself, I am Love and Power, LOVEIN Power, across Facebook, TikTok, X, and Instagram. And for the amazing seasoning that you have not yet discovered, go on to 810tacos.com and we ship nationally.
I love this. I mean, just like I said, you've just been such a joy to talk with. I already know that anything you touch is gonna be amazing just because you're just an amazing spirit,
Thank
an
you so
amazing soul. So I wanted to say thank everyone so much for joining us today. It has been such a pleasure. Again, I am Vera with Beauty Queens Galore, the pageant resource. Stay tuned for our next interview, and I hope you guys have a great night.
much. Bye. Thank you.